Wait a minute. What? What? Hey friends, what's going on? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host, Jan. How's it going? I hope you're doing well. Really do hope that. Yes, Osimhen's going to Galatasaray. Funny that. And you know what? He's going to be loaned with no obligation. And you know what? No option. He's just getting a straight loan to the Turkish league. We're going to talk about that. And I'm also going to talk about the Chelsea's attack holistically. Like, Jadon Sancho and Neto, are these guys going to start for Chelsea? What's going to happen? So we're going to get into all of it today. But in the meantime, take a moment and listen to this. A big thank you to my sponsors, Surfshark, for sponsoring this video, guys. Surfshark is the best virtual private network VPN around, in my opinion. It's so important to have a VPN these days if you use the internet, which we all do. It works by moving your internet's location elsewhere, or at least that's what it looks like. It means people can't find you, mate, and they don't know where you are. And Surfshark has loads and loads of potential locations available. Loads of different countries, loads of different servers. First and foremost, this keeps you safe in the big bad world of the internet. The bad data pirates can't get you, can't steal your information. And also, it keeps your internet browsing private, which I'm sure you can agree is very important. We want to stay private. If a particular piece of media has been locked to you previously, you can use Surfshark to move to the country where it's been locked to, and it's immediately available at the click of the button. You can now watch what was previously locked media to you. But it's not just an individual video. I always like to reference how I use it on Netflix. So I move over from the UK's library. Of course, I live in England. I like to move over to the USA version of Netflix, so I suddenly have loads more movies, loads more TV shows available to me, because theoretically I'm in America now. As you can see, it's a must-have in this day and age. Surfshark's super easy to use, it's slick, and because you're a viewer of my channel, you can get 4 months free. That's right, 4 months free when you use my code FOOTBALL on Surfshark, or alternatively, and simply just click the link in the top of the description to go get this fantastic deal now and join the VPN revolution. Go do it. See you in a bit. Ooh, what a wonderful deal by Surfshark. Do go check that out now. Alright, let's do it about it. We are going to speak about the Chelsea attack, but we're going to speak about Osimhen a little bit first. Fabrizio Romano posts on X the following. Galatasaray have agreed to cover the salary of Victor Osimhen until the end of the season. A loan deal agreed with Napoli does not include any buy option or obligation clause. Mission in Napoli to get Victor's green light. Well, context, Victor Osimhen is not registered in the Napoli Serie A squad. He can't play. He's literally just can't do anything. He can't play football. Of course, the Saudi... is the Saudi market still open? I think it is, because we're looking at selling Gabriel Angelo, which I spoke about in an upload. I shaved my beard, and I got little bits of hairs coming out. Very annoying. Trimmed it, rather. Trying to shape it. What am I talking about? Angelo possibly going for less than I originally reported earlier. Well, the reports that I reacted to earlier. We'll see what happens there. We'll keep tabs on it. Still, it looks like decent P's for a player that was going to be in the development squad this season, so that represents good value. But back to Osimhen. Let's remind you of the narrative, shall we? Let's remind you of the narrative. His agent, Calendar, or however you pronounce his name, was like, yeah, he's always talking, always ruddy talking. You know, my player's got all this stuff to do. He's not going to be treated as an asset, this, that, and the other. He's not to be loaned. Yeah. He's no good to be loaned. Romano, who's seemingly the mouthpiece for like agents and players, and you know, the friggin' transfer guru dude, over and over and over, he won't go on loan. He wants to go to Chelsea, but he won't go on loan. Of course, he loves Chelsea. He loves Drogba. Chelsea shirt as a kid, supports Chelsea, yada, yada, yada. But no loan. I can't go, not loan. I just can't do a loan, guys. No loans. But he'll go on loan to friggin' Galatasaray. No disrespect to Galatasaray. You can hang out with Ziyech and the Mandem, whatever, fine. It's actually it's got very like, Expendables vibes. Like they've got, also, Mauro Icardi. He probably don't fancy that. He's like a superstar, high-profile centre-forward. How are Galatasaray signing Victor Osimhen when they've got like Mertens, Zaha's gone now, isn't he? But Mertens, Ziyech, Icardi, other players, I'm sure. How does that work? Okay, so can I just say, annoying, right? Because, yeah, sure, Galatasaray have agreed to cover his salary, but it looks like there's no loan fee. That's what I'm reading. So if Chelsea were allowed to just loan him like they friggin' wanted to do, with a better loan than this, like an option to buy or whatever. So, you know, because Napoli want rid. Napoli do not want Osimhen. They don't want him as a player. They don't want him as like I suppose a personality at the moment. And they certainly don't want his insane wages. They've got Lukaku, he's scoring, him and Conte like back in their, you know, romantic relationship. They're loving it. They don't want Osimhen. It's dead. It's Napoli and Osimhen is dead. So why couldn't you just loan him to Chelsea? We would have like, if this could have happened to Chelsea, what we would have paid for a loan fee, which by the way would have been significant, and probably with the wages we were prepared to pay Osimhen, yeah, for say a 12-month loan, a season loan, and the loan fee we would have been prepared to pay on top of his wages, it would have been more than what his salary's been covered here. So actually, Chelsea would have saved money. Osimhen would have got... just so dumb. I won't go... Look, whatever. Look, at the end of the day, he's a great player. It's great that he's going to be playing football for the season. I did think he's just going to end up in Saudi because he clearly wants money. But the fact how he's accepted a loan, how his friggin' mouthy agent talks all the time, has accepted a loan as well after giving it the big in. No loans, no loans. Oh yeah, loan to Turkey. Let's get out there. We could have done that at Stamford Bridge. We could have done it in the Premier League. Blockbuster prime Barclays high profile, apparently Chelsea supporting centre forward African icon following in the steps of Didier Drogba. No, we won't go to loan to you, but we will be loaned to Turkey, a much lower level of competition. It's super dumb. Anyway, histoire. It doesn't matter anymore. History. So, Chelsea don't have Osimhen, but we've got other attackers. Now look, big talking point, of course, Chelsea massively outperformed our XG against Wolves. We had less expected goals than Wolves, actually, in that game, and we scored 6 goals to their 2. 6, I think we had like 1.2 XG or something crazy, and we scored 6 goals out of it. We had like 2.5 against Palace, and we scored 1 out of it. So why couldn't we take one of those magical goals from the Wolves game and just put them over to the Palace game and get those sweet 3 points that we deserved? Actually, the defense was good. The it was just the finishing, chance creation, the attacking largely, the defense all good. It's just the finishing, and it's super friggin' frustrating because the finishing the game before was like different universe, different stratosphere. Wolves, it was like, what? There's a 0.04 chance of a goal here. Just smash it in, no worries, mate. Where was that? Where was that against Palace? Anyway, generally, if you look at what's happening in terms of play from Chelsea, it's largely quite promising. It is, bro. So what is our attack? Well, we got loads of attackers, okay? And I want to talk about that. I want to go through them because, of course, we are yet to see Jadon Sancho feature, of course, understandably. He's just signed. We're yet to see Joao Felix start. And we are yet to see Neto maybe play. Did he play on the right against Servette? Well, he launched to play on the right. And, of course, we've got Noni Madueke, who is in form. He's in form, and I think he had an okay game at Crystal Palace. He had a chance that he would have tucked away where he dragged it wide. It was almost, you know, he scored that identical goal hat-trick in the previous game against Wolves. You know, Palmer playing him in on the right flank and him shooting, usually I think it was a cross goal or coming in on that side. It was very, very similar goals, right? So he had a goal like that, a higher value chance against Palace, and remember he dragged it wide far post slightly, and he looked really annoyed with himself. So he should have had a goal there, and he absolutely should have had a goal from that. Obviously ended up drawing that insane wonder save from Dean Henderson, where he's like, he just had no right to save that. So he could have had a couple of goals. So Noni Madueke is in form. He is, right? You have to say it. Palmer speaks for himself, but he's sort of an inside player, and Nkunku as well. So really, I want to kind of talk about who we feel is going to end up like starters for Chelsea. So for the moment, we do play with a lone striker. There is a striker. It's a system. It's a system, right? And like an example that's different to this would be when Jurgen Klopp won the Premier League with Roberto Firmino, right? It was a false nine. It was the falsest of nines with Bobby Firmino, as they called him, in every sense of the word, because all the goals came from Mane and Salah, and all the creativity and overlaps came from Robertson and Trent. So it was very much everything on the width. The wingers and the fullbacks were all about the attack, and the functionality was in the midfield. For example, it was no goals in that midfield. It was like Henderson, Wijnaldum, and who else was there? Someone else was there that wasn't. I mean, who predated Fabinho? Might have been Fabinho. Anyway, it was all functionality. It wasn't goal scoring. And to a degree, the striker, Firmino, was kind of functional as well. He scored the odd goal. He got a few assists, but he was like functionality. Now, of course, Maresca's Chelsea. No, we have a striker. We have a point of the pitch, and it's a centre forward, and it's a lone striker. That's why it was so disappointing. Not that we didn't sign Osimhen, but we didn't get cover. And we're going to rely on Mark Gu to actually do stuff this season, which is kind of exciting in its own way, but horrendously worrying at the same time. So that was disappointing. So we're going to play with a lone striker. So therefore, you know, it's not up for debate. It's Nico Jackson. Nico Jackson is a good striker. If you haven't watched my video from earlier today, you know, the 2nd of September, Monday, go check it out. Because at the end of the video, we use X value and we look at Nico Jackson and stuff. Well, to be honest, I can just talk about him now. He underperformed his XG last season. If he performs his XG, like, I'm not saying him to do Erling Haaland, where, you know, he's just ruthlessly scores out of nowhere no matter what. Just, if you get, you know, even if he underperforms by like a goal by the end of the season, which would be disappointing for a Chelsea striker, but because he gets himself into so many goal-scoring positions, Nico Jackson, he will finish the season with a good tally, and people will be very, like, talking, you know, positively about him. Now, Mark Gu is a crazy young, pressing, strong, sort of blood and thunder centre-forward, but he's obviously, I'm not criticising Gu because he's 18 and he's in a new country and he's in a new league and everything, right? But, like, the Servette game, Chelsea fans like him because he puts in the effort, a bit of the Timo Werner vibes in many ways. But when Nico Jackson came on for him, you could just immediately saw his intelligence as a centre forward. And remember, Jackson isn't long a centre forward. He's been doing it for like 14 months or whatever. He's a winger by trade originally, but his intelligence as a centre forward of what spaces to occupy and these moments of frustration, whether he's offside, whether he's, I mean, the descent is no excuse, but offside and this, that, and the other, and, you know, it's missing chances. It frustrates Chelsea fans because you want strikers to finish chances. But when they get a lot, it means they're good. It means they're good footballers. Like, you don't see Gu getting a lot of chances because he's not doing the right things as a striker. Jackson is. So if he gets, you know, like 16 XG, 17 XG this season, scores 17 goals, I'm totally fine with that. I don't need him to be an elite striker that outperforms their XG and over average. No, if he meets the average that he's expected to from the chances, we'll be in business. Alright, so striker for the moment is down. Now, of course, you've got the inside 10, and Jadon Sancho, once when interviewed, called them 10s, right? This is kind of tough, okay? Alright, so let's just talk about the Chelsea lineup here. So Caicedo is really good. He is really good. He has looked amazing at times. He's going to be the most important player in our midfield. He is. So he will be joined by an inverting fullback that will create the base of a box midfield. Okay, so Gusto, Reece James, possibly Cucurella if we're doing the left, although it looks like it's the right that we're doing. And, you know, you should have cover. Caicedo's not going to be left on an island. He will have a defensive player next to him that, you know, is fast, that can pass, and that can make tackles, whether it's Gusto or James. So that's the base of your midfield. And then you've got a lot of attackers, right? So, and sometimes the fullback, like a Cucurella, will get forwards as well, and you'll have 6 players in attack on something crazy. But let's just say the 5 for the moment. The 2 10s, the wingers, and the striker. Now, we've spoken about the striker. It's Nico Jackson. If I was playing full FIFA career mode, I would want to make the 2 10s. Cole Palmer, obviously. He's the first name on the team sheet. But I would also... I'd like Nkunku on the left. So I'd like Palmer as the right 10 and Nkunku as the left. I think that Nkunku's such a lethal finisher. He's such an intelligent footballer. I'm just desperate. I'm desperate to find a way for him to be on the pitch. And of course, maybe if we can get him to like just learn the centre forward role a little bit more, he can like deputise for Jackson in that role, as well as trying to play in the 10. And to be honest, in a world, Nkunku's so good. Like, people will give me grief for bigging up Fofana rule last season, although some people are starting to convert into believers now. And people gave me so much grief of, like, talking up Nkunku. But he's sick, bro. People just forget. He's such a good finisher. He's elite. He rarely makes the wrong decision, and he's so devastatingly efficient. If he could become a striker, he could be an elite striker. He'd be a little bit more cloak and dagger than Jackson. He won't be able to hold the ball up like Jackson. And the fact how I've just spoken about the profile of centre forward, we want a proper lone 9. It is Jackson. That's why they were looking at Osimhen. That's why they were looking at Samu. That's why they were looking at John Duran. None of these guys are like Nkunku. So Nkunku would very much be like a running behind kind of striker. But if you could make it work, it would be devastating. But maybe Maresca would have to change his philosophy a bit. I just really want to get Nkunku on the pitch somewhere or another, and I think his best position is just behind on that inside left pocket, which actually is the left 10. But then you're dropping Enzo Fernandez, but then you're dropping, Crimea River, Dewsbury Hall, who's meant to come in and make the midfield tick. I mean, it's tough to drop Enzo Fernandez, who's apparently captain at the moment, who has moments. And he's been catching a lot of heat, Enzo, but he's also done some great stuff, passing-wise, and he does care, and he's clearly very, very committed, and there's obviously a player in there. But yeah, if they're going to be less functional and more attacking, I would love to see Palmer and Nkunku, which leaves the two wingers, and this is where the question happens, because the right wing, and maybe this is a question of form, whoever's in form starts, which is how it should be, really. But the right wing, you go Neto or Madueke, right? And then the left wing, you go Mudryk's still not gonna. I think Mudryk is just not the guy, and that we can have a different conversation about that again on another video. Maybe Felix gets pushed out to the left wing, maybe, but I think probably for the moment, I think the plan is Jadon Sancho. I think the plan is Jadon Sancho to be the starting left winger, and then between maybe Noni Madueke to be the starting right winger, and then Neto, who can play comfortably either side. He's like the elite cover that will like come in for whoever drops form or whoever's injured. And then you got the likes of Joao Felix, who's maybe signed to literally be like a sort of Galactico utility man who can play as sort of a false 9 striker, who can play in the Palmer role, who can play on the left, Anyway, it's a really interesting conversation. The good thing about this is, if someone drops form as an attacker, there's obvious backup. If you said to me before this pre-season, and you told me the players we have, I would say, well, obviously Neto's starting on the right wing. Madueke, I like him, whatever, but there's no chance he's starting over Neto. Of course, he started the season so well, Madueke, that you're thinking, all right, let him cook for a while. But yeah, Neto's just got elite Premier League quality there. I was so excited when we signed him. I was like, yeah, he starts. He definitely starts. But I wonder if the plan is Noni, Sancho, and Palmer. They're the guys that you just get on, and the rest sort of mix and match. And maybe Jackson. Oh, it's super tough, man. Right. I want to put it out to you guys. Let me know what you think. Make sure you leave your comments on the attackers down in the comment section below. Do go check out Surfshark, clicking the link in the top of the description. If you haven't got a VPN or you don't like yours, it's time to upgrade, mates. And yeah, I'll see you back here very soon. Mwah! Peace.